Wisdom is pure intelligence before the contamination of thought. Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I am glad to be here. Wisdom is pure intelligence before the contamination of thought. You know, in today's world, I believe that great leadership is suffering at the expense of great management. As technology increases, as we're able to do things faster and better and cheaper, one of the things that's happened, and you can see it all around us, it's happened at the political level, where people are trying to manage expectations for the polls, and the time limit went from getting it done in a year or in a 4 years, getting it done into 1 year, getting it done for the half elections, getting it down, and they keep shortening it, where almost now it's like you've got to do it before it gets published in tomorrow's paper or before it gets tweeted out. And so leadership, the ability to see long term and to be able to hold on certain values and principles short term so that you can achieve the long-term goal, seems to be going away. In corporate America, we're starting to see people striving for that next quarter's earnings, the earnings per share, and how they can get the vote and get their compensation that is based upon short-term results. How about in our families? You know, one of the challenges in families today is that our children do not understand what the concept of boredom is. And what's the consequences of that? I think back at do you remember when you were bored when you were real little? Some of our most creative times, we were using sticks to make things, rocks to make things happen. That creativity that happens there. We have to be careful that we don't get caught up in this technological age of where managing our time, our expectations and everything trumps great leadership. Now let's go back to my quote. Wisdom is pure intelligence before the contamination of thought. About a year ago, prior to doing what I was hoping was the rim to rim, and if you remember what happened prior to that time on Cinco de Mayo, I was diagnosed with a back issue. I mean, it just came on suddenly, no pain, no nothing, and but I lost the use of my foot. It just dropped. And so I'm like, oh my gosh. And long story short, ended up with one of the best physicians, Dr. Fox, I could have ever wanted to be with, a surgeon, a neurological surgeon. And he gave me two choices. He says, what the book says, Lee, is I should put a titanium rod in your spine. He says, but, you know, if you'll allow me to do my wisdom, then I'm going to go ahead and would you sign both forms for me? And I said, sure, absolutely. I trusted him, came highly recommended, and I was in deep need. And he said, even though that the titanium one cost more, he ended up doing his magic, let's call it, based upon his wisdom and his experience. They said there's a 50-50 chance I'd get my foot back. I asked him, when would I know? He says, oh, within a year, regardless of which method that he chose. But here we are less than 6 months later, and I'm going to be going out rim to rim in 2.5 weeks. And so, as evidenced by, I'm so grateful that he chose to use his wisdom rather than buy the book. And that didn't really hit me till last week, because my issue previously is I've got a knee that's bone on bone, and I've had it tested with some injections, not steroids, but something else that kind of buffered it for a while. And it's not bothering me too bad, but I know that it can. And so I went to a new sports medicine doctor, because I just moved here, Dr. Christian Millward. And what he said was genius, because I came in and explained what I thought I should do. And I said, you know, looking at the x-rays, you see where it's bone on bone. And he looked at it and he goes, Lee, I don't treat x-rays. I treat people. I said, wow. Wisdom is pure intelligence before the contamination of thought. How are we getting meshed into? How are we getting deceived, really? How are we letting go of our wisdom, our experiences, and exchanging it with the fast treatment, expediency, exchanging it with technology? But if we can merge the two together, so my message to you, my message to me is, what is my wisdom? What is my magic? And when I blend my magic, when you blend your wisdom or your magic, your experiences, your knowledge, your intuitions, your gut feel with technology, Can we then regain the beauty and the elements of leadership, the ability to think long-term and make long-term decisions? The short-term result for me would have been a titanium rod. The short-term result for me, and the one by the book, would have been to come in and have a knee replacement. But I'm going down the Grand Canyon, and the best result for me is based upon the wisdom of others. What is your wisdom? Protect it. Keep digging for it. Keep learning. Make every experience that you have a learning experience. And your wisdom will be priceless. I don't care what happens with robotics, artificial intelligence, all of the technology in the world. Preserve your wisdom. It will be priceless. That's my message for today. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.